Hello, and welcome to Waiting for Game, Melee Stats weekly podcast. And, dude, have a show for you today. Now, I am here with my co-host, Edwin Budding, and Ambi Sinister. I'm Gimme That Wheat. And you might know us as Melee Stats, a collective of some of the greatest minds in Melee, per ESPN or whatever.
That is a throwback, dude.
And we have another Melee Stats member and another throwback. So if you guys remember our original Melee Stats podcast, like one of the three that have existed, you might remember someone named SaveAsUntitled. What is going on, Save? So you've been back from a little bit of a break. I don't want to say back. You're gracing us with your presence. But before we can get into this, can you please give me the thing that we've been waiting to hear? Can I have the what's up, guys, at SaveAsUntitled here?
What's up, guys? SaveAsUntitled here. I don't even say that. Like, that's not even.
What do you say? What is the intro?
I don't even know. Oh, hey guys, SaveAsUntitled here.
Okay, it's hey guys.
That's
very much different than what's up, guys. I'm sorry that I ever got those two.
No. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Is his Mario Baseball intro.
Yeah,
because I remember this one distinctively is my favorite Save intro because it was like 15 years ago or whatever. And he just completely trips over the words SaveAsUntitled. So he goes, "What's up, guys? SaveAsUntitled here."
No.
It's like the best Save intro of all time.
I think it's the powerful enthusiasm behind it. He just wanted to share Mario Baseball with
it's a great game
friends and his fans.
The greatest game ever played.
Yeah, no.
The
title was very accurate.
You didn't lie. You're not a liar.
Yeah.
No, it's like a signature, right? When you like write out your name, it's very careful. You're writing out every single letter, and then when it comes to your signature, it's just like the broad strokes, right? You have to like get the T in there if you have a T, or like get like if something has a big loop, you got to do it, and everything else you just like R's completely are non-existent. And that's kind of like with a SaveAsUntitled intro, a great SaveAsUntitled intro. It hits the big things. You can tell he's saying SaveAsUntitled, but he might not be actually saying SaveAsUntitled. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're kind of immediately having you on and kind of critiquing videos that you made like 8 years ago.
Yeah, no, I didn't know this was going to be a roast, but I mean.
Yeah, actually, we have your entire catalog here. This is a 21-hour episode.
One by one.
Well, I must say that your tag specifically, SaveAsUntitled, I think has like a distinct charm to it. Where if your tag was something else, maybe if you speed through your name, it doesn't carry the same kind of vibe or the same kind of like same kind of positive energy. I think that's a very underrated element of your delivery and the words that you use in them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I wish I would have gone with something shorter because I've seen the whole gambit of people spell it wrong or go wild different ways with it.
Wait, how do they spell? Those are 3 words.
Oh no, I've seen a lot.
Okay, SaveAsUntilted.
That's a classic. Yeah,
that's a classic.
Of all the people who call me saved too, like there's no D in there. Well, I mean, there's a D at the end, but like I digress.
Maybe
people called you saved as untitled.
Yes. All the time. I probably get that more than SaveAsUntitled, honestly.
Honestly, though, I think SaveAsUntitled is such a sick, like, memorable tag if you use a computer in any capacity. Right? I think about your tag literally whenever I try to save anything and it just auto-populates it as untitled. I'm like, oh shit.
I get that sometimes too, and I'm like, oh, that was who I used to be a time before.
What do you? I guess a good question right now for you. So we're gonna get into a lot of things today, because like I mean, it comes down to it. We really do want to talk to you, and I guess the first question I have for you is, what do you save your documents as currently?
Lord, I save them as what they need to be saved as. A lot of if a placeholder is instead of entitled, I'll just name them John 1, John 2, but. God, I hate that question so much.
Okay. Well, how about this?
All right, already on a bad foot.
I'm leaving.
If you could do it all over again, I think this is kind of a funny question that we think to ourselves about. That probably, I'm not sure if it gets answered a lot, but like, what we call ourselves, you would think, right? Like, one would assume that what we call ourselves in this community uh, has had a lot of thought put into it because it's something that we will go by for literally years to come. Um, and yet, how it worked for me and how I believe it worked for a lot of people is that you come up with this thing that you don't really put too much thought into, and then suddenly it's like the only thing that people call you. So like, if you could do it all over again, if not Save As Entitled, what would you think?
I think I'd still stick with it because I mean, I'm going through the process of because I've been trying to put out music lately, and I didn't like the band name I had for a year. Like I just beating the pavement over and over again, trying to pick something. I hate it all, but I mean, I still even after because I made Civ Untitled when I was like in 2011 or something. I was barely a teenager and I still like it. So I'm happy at least with that. I'm happy also the place I am now, and I think that is one of the consequential decisions that got me there. Well, I wouldn't say my name is a big factor in it, but I'm happy with my name, and I'm also happy that I came up with it early enough and was like, hey, let me claim this on every account everywhere. Like if you Google Saves Untitled, the first like 6 pages are my accounts on different sites.
Oh, you know what sucks, dude? I have like every platform except Twitter. I have all the platforms except Twitter. You go on Twitter, and there's an Ambi Sinister. He's like a JavaScript dev, and I'm like, oh, you got there.
By that brand.
You should fight him in a duel for it.
Dude, it'd be so funny if he was just you, but like one thing removed. Like he's a JavaScript dev. He plays Rivals of Aether.
Oh no.
Like,
Oh no.
So just on a related topic,
he puts videos on Vimeo.
I want to bring this up because it is actually related to what we're talking about. And it has nothing to do with Save, but it has everything to do with me. So I need to ask you guys something.
What a segue.
Do you think that at this point more people recognize me than the actual Edwin Budding?
No.
No.
No?
Probably not.
Are you kidding me?
No,
I mean,
dude.
like, I think that
Where is your Wikipedia page, dude?
recognize,
Oh,
I think, is a word that is doing a lot of work in this sentence.
That's very true, Eric.
Like, so there's probably history books that like 8th graders read that says Edwin Budding in like one sentence.
You're the 4th when I Google Edwin Budding. Your Twitter's the 4th. So like the like daily melee stats facts or whatever it used to be. That's the 4th on there. So you're kind of today in Smash. Is that what it was?
Oh, dude, don't get us on this topic.
I regret nothing.
No, dude.
It was a smart business move.
It's a. Oh, dude.
All right. Well, we seem to be working on a bit of a loose episode right now, but I think
So the answer is yes. I'm more famous than the man who.
No,
invented
shut
Pokemon.
up. No.
So
the
we do
answer is
have
no.
I want to get into a lot with you, Save, because I think there's a lot that I want to talk to you about, and I think there's a lot that people want to hear. I mean, we are going to talk about how your life has been since you kind of made a step back. We're going to do that probably the last half of the show, but just like up front, everything going okay, right? I want to hear how you're doing.
Yeah.
I want the whole shebang later, but just like some positive affirmation right now. Blink twice if you're being a hostage.
I'm doing good. I'm living. I was talking about to Ambi in the pre-show. Living pretty much a normie life, working my 9 to 5, following my hobbies. It's really nice to. I really liked all the creative freedom that Melee and doing the content creation gave me, but it didn't give me a lot of freedom with my time. And now I have a whole lot more freedom with my time. And also Melee doesn't pay very well, so I didn't have a lot of monetary freedom either. So now I have both of those things, and having a lot of having the time to be able to do whatever I want is really nice, and it's kind of let me kind of chill for a little bit, pull back, and kind of live life more in the present.
Hell yeah. I think like the next big question I have is, so if this is you now, when would you say that you kind of took your step back from Melee? Like if you could put it, not a specific date, but if you could like how many months ago do you think you stopped really putting all of this effort into it?
It was it's close to about a year since I kind of stepped back from everything. Yeah, I think it was somewhere around like June or July. It just, in very short terms, it became like too much, and I was like, I need to kind of try something else out, take a step back, take some time for myself. And again, I'm very happy with my time I spent in the Melee community, but I'm also exceptionally happy that I kind of took this step back. Like I'm very glad I got to finally accomplish my like goal that I've been making YouTube videos since like 2011 to like finally like quote unquote make it on YouTube. So I'm glad I can like in my life goals check that off. But I'm also glad to have moved on to something else.
Yeah, I just want to mention that like Smash YouTube has kind of been its own thing for a while, like over the last decade and a half, really. And I just want to mention, I think that what you contributed in particular, like starting with the Evo video, but then into your weekly tournament recaps and like your weekly previews, was something that hadn't really been done at like that level that had been done before. And obviously, like everything else on YouTube, there's always room for incremental improvements, and there's always room to follow a lot more of the scene. And obviously when you cover something like Melee, where everyone is very intensely passionate and dedicated to it, everyone wants to that's a lot of pressure that I think you took upon yourself in some ways. And it's not that anyone dealt with it perfectly, but I think that the gravity of what you were getting into, I think, is something that was particularly noticeable, just like looking back at your time in the community, like even when you were just making videos on a weekly basis, let alone running, this is something that I don't want to let go unsaid, but when you were running net play tournaments during the first part of the pandemic before rollback.
Yeah, and to say I know you're kind of putting into next to the box, but I would have not been able to run that without like the huge TO team that was kind of helping me out.
Of
especially,
course.
yeah, for like, and who are still running the event. I think Untitled East Coast is on Thursdays now. It's wild that like that has been going on for like a year straight. Is wild to see. But yeah, again, it was. I was just kind of given the platform and the kind of the people to reach out to of like TOs I knew from events I went to in Philly, like Gene and Axis, kind of, and building from there.
Yeah.
So, Save, I guess we have our like more formal catch up with you later in the show. It's just very difficult to not want to get it all out there right now and sort of like pick your brain a little bit, to use a weedism.
He's right there.
Wait,
I need to know.
Pick your
You say it
brain's
a
not
lot.
a weedism.
No, but you do say it a lot.
I think I said it a lot to Walt. For some reason, he just like brought it out in me.
You said it to PP also.
I do think
wanna
it's a
pick his
weedism.
brain.
I think you say that a good amount.
Yeah, it's a normal saying, but it's definitely like. It's a
I will
weedism.
say I think Edwin is a bit quick to call things isms of a person. Like I
No,
think he
not
wanted
true.
to assign me the word sometimes. The word
No, you
sometimes
are
is
such
an
a
ambient.
sometime-
You're
no,
a
you are such a
sometimer, he says.
Well, he
You're
says
such-
it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Andy is
single
like
word.
a giga
dude.
sometimer.
I don't know. Like we could go
It's
through
okay.
the
We
DMs.
all have those.
I-
At least yours make sense. Mine don't make
Jeez.
sense unless you know me.
There's
The
some
Edwinisms are like
personal-
another language.
Yeah, and it sucks. It feels like
It sucks.
Hey.
no, it's so hard to talk to you sometimes when you get in your weird little Edwinism bag.
No, it's okay because
you're
you
like-
have me. Whenever he gets in the Edwin bag, I'm there, right? Like when he
Yeah.
wanted the thumbnail from you for that one episode, and he just said "Thummer" in all caps, and you had no idea what was going on, and I was like, "No, dude, he just wants the thumbnail. That's what "Thummer" means."
Oh, I missed this so much. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, isn't there?
Sorry. Look. Sorry. Just to bring us back to the agenda. The main thing, I guess the other thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have any questions for us on what the state of Melee has been like since you've taken your time away from the scene? Because we have a lot prepared to kind of give you the lowdown on what's happened. That's fun to talk about, at least, and all the little developments in the scene that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, so if you say that you took a step back about a year ago, I mean, obviously, you have really paid attention to like a couple years of Melee, like pretty in depth. So you obviously know how much a year can change the game. And dude, I think I'm honestly for like, what did I say? Sometimes or something?
No. I'm laughing because I'm laughing to affirm what you were about to say or what I think you're about to say, because it's whatever you're about to say. If it is what I think it is, it's very true. And I'm just laughing to reinforce,
All right, let's
support you. in what you were
This is
saying.
already going off the rails a little bit.
Go ahead, Wheat. What has happened?
It's a good thing. I'm not making fun of you.
Edwin, let him talk.
Okay.
Come on.
A lot can change in a year. You know that. And I think that this year, for a lot of different reasons, we have seen a monumental change in what the Melee landscape has been. And I guess, like, this is our time for to catch you up. Like the past year since Slippy came out, Slippy just came out with a year anniversary just recently. This past year has been such a crazy year for Melee, and players have developed at such a exponential rate that, like, let's get into it, man. Like, this is a completely different world. So, Edwin, I guess I didn't say what you want me to say.
No, you said everything. I was only laughing because I think it is the most that something in Melee, like that the landscape of the scene has changed in a.
Yeah, I mean, we have Slippy now, right? Like, I think, like, literally everyone is good at all the matchups now. Like, I remember, like, a year and a half ago, like, there were still LAN tournaments. And I was at, like, a Xanadu, and I played the Brig. Shouts to the Brig. I played the Brig, and he steamrolled me, because I didn't know that, like, you don't just jump versus Captain Falcon. And, like, I was talking to R2D-Lu, and he's like, dude, you just keep jumping against Captain Falcon. Like, I don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, I guess I haven't really played a Falcon in so long. And, like, I remember I thought about that the other day, and about how, like, I literally can't go a single day on netplay without playing a fucking Falcon, because they're everywhere. And it's like, yeah, like, this is just, like, everyone now. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I don't know, I haven't played a Falcon in so long, because, like, they literally just fall out of the trees now. So it's just, like, everything's so different. Everyone's good at every matchup.
Ambi, I love what you're saying, and I want to add that, like, there's so many resources to get better at specific situations, and, like, just anything about the game you could want or you could grind out, you can do it. Like, you have Uncle Punch, you have, like, I know not all the character mains have great save state discords, but I can certainly say that the Marth one is incredible. It's a really good resource to use to practice, like, specific edge guarding situations, like how to counter slide off on platforms and stuff. It's like even the players today that, like, would have been O2ers maybe like a year ago, like, they all hit like a truck now with multiple characters. Like, the level of the metagame is so high at the moment, and if you don't practice hard and if you don't put in the time, you're gonna fall behind pretty quickly, like some people at the top level.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, this is kind of a perfect segue. So, Save, we are going to see the first, we've seen LAN tournaments here and there, some locals that have been popping up, but we're going to see the first big LAN tournament coming up. Smash Summit 11 is about, nearing the end of July, so we're a couple weeks away. Currently, there are 9 players who have already qualified. Would you like to take some guesses as to who we might have? You don't have to guess all 9, but just take some guesses, and I'll reveal the 9 for you.
Mango and Zane seem very active on things. I saw, I think it was Gamo results recently. None won something, so maybe None.
Good guess.
That's
good.
A guess, yeah.
This is Family Feud. Good answer.
No, what X? Oh God. Dude, my brain is faltering. It's faltering, and then at the same time, it's kind of dusting the cobwebs off of these kind of pathways that I had.
This is a lot to ask.
I'll let you in on something then. You can say anything. I trust your Melee knowledge. There is only one answer that you could possibly give that we will roast you for if you give it for naming players who have qualified for Summit. There's only one name that I do not want you to say. So whatever else you say is good.
What's that name? I need to know now.
Well, let's figure out the name. Let's get into it. So you named a couple people. You named Zane, Mango, None. All great guesses.
Reasonable.
So let's talk about it. So we have Zane. We have Mango. Okay, you're 2 for 2. We have Leffen. Leffen invited from Europe. Amsa as well. 2 players we haven't really gotten to see. IBW. IBW's been one of the better players of the netplay era. Plup.
Of course.
Everyone knows Plup is great. SFAT, perennial favorite SFAT. Maybe not the always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And Moki.
Okay.
And
this seems pretty not ridiculous so far.
So there's
it feels like
here.
People are missing.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't feel like people are missing.
Obviously, there's the 9th player. Let's get into that, right? Because there's one player who we're all thinking about who's missing, and the 9th player, of course, is Pipsqueak.
Huh? Nothing
you,
against
Lee.
Pip. Pip's awesome, but so what?
Are we missing a few people who you think might have made it?
Yeah. Some players come.
So
to
let's
mind.
talk about Pip. Let's talk about Pip, right? You know, Europe, a good region. It was the decision.
It sounds like it
yeah.
pained you to say that.
It was it was a decision of the BTS team to invite like the winner of the most tournaments in Europe. You know, and there's a lot of very good players in Europe, and the one that emerged like at the top of this very tall tower of all the best players in Europe was Pipsqueak, the legend. Yeah, so
Pip's awesome.
Yeah.
definitely
I
popped
mean,
off
like-
super hard.
Dude, part of the summit is obviously the people who qualify or the people who get invited. But the summit's huge thing is voting, right?
Mhm.
So like, what player? We saw a couple players there. Like S, we can talk about like Hungrybox. Obviously, is not currently qualified. S2J has been to so many summits. He's not currently qualified. Axe is a huge fan favorite. So knowing all that, who do you think is sitting at 9,000 votes above second place, in first place with a 9,000 vote gap? Like, obviously, who do you think has this sort of fan base, this rabid fan base?
Which
I-
famous
number one
net
in
play
Summit voting.
grinder do you think would be
I
it?
do think it's been so pervasive, the advertising for this, that I've seen it in my brief voyages into the like Melee Stats Discord. So that is, I guess, good advertising, but it's sicko, of course, right? Recently, Monday
On the beat,
Morning
dude.
Marth featured. Yeah.
No, but that's a
on the
very that is an impressive guess. It's not too far off, honestly.
no.
Do you know who Nick fucking Yingling is?
Yeah, does he have that big of a lead in first
Yeah.
place?
He has 24 as of recording this. He has 24,000 votes. None in second place at 15,000. I mean, like, we're talking about the changes in Melee. I guess I'll let you in on a little secret is that Yingling secretly did not become the 6th god or 7th, 8th, whatever, how
Damn.
many ever gods we're at currently. So it's a little bit misleading to bring this up in a bit of a catch-up episode. But yeah, I mean, like, the landscape of Melee has changed so much since you were last in it. I guess, like, right now is a good time. Do you have any specific questions? Do you like any things that come out to you? Any questions that you really want to ask? I want to try to fill you in as much as we can.
Well, I think it is too much in my blood to not ask. What's the deal looking like for ranking this year? How's that going to play out?
That is a great question, Sayer.
Alright, no, fair enough. Okay.
It's what the people would want to. It's what the average Save as Untitled fan would want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what every Save as Untitled fan would want to know. I think they're waiting for you, to be honest.
Oh no.
You know what? It'd be amazing if what was your last video? Your last video, not
It
your
was
last
like
upload.
Smash World Tour storylines or something like that.
Oh no, that
Which did not age very well.
Yes. So this was like February 2020 or something, right? What if you took like whatever 16-month break or whatever it would be, 18-month break maybe at some point, like you release a video after a year and a half, and it's top 10 Melee players right now, and it's you just like guessing who you're like, I think I've heard Zane's good. It's like, and number 5, I don't really know his results, but HBox was always pretty good, so he's going in. Just the least scientific thing. How do you think your fan base would react?
I think they'd love it.
I would love it. I would watch
I
it
think
10
if you
times,
don't-
dude.
I think if you packaged it correctly, it could work.
Like all the same graphics, the same like usual lo-fi beats, non-copyrighted
Yeah.
music.
But just a lot more uncertainty in the delivery.
So
Oh,
Hungry
shit,
Box
it's
is
been
number
a while.
one again.
No
Jigglypuff
way
is
Hungry
good.
Box is.
I mean, this is
no way
like
Hungry
this is
Box
like the
bad.
this is like the classic Save makes predictions on a podcast about who will win the next tournament, right? Like this is just Hungry Box is number 1. Not Hungry
Yeah,
Box
I mean,
gotta
It's
be the
gonna
best player,
happen.
dude.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It's a good guess.
We all like our backs bending over backwards to like come up with a well, for 2
Fun
reasons.
answer,
We
yeah.
want to pick HBox and one to like seem cool. We all like came up with these dumb reasons. I was like, no, Leffen's got this. He lost the last bunch of sets to H-Box, but he's got this.
I really think Axe can win Summit.
Yeah, and then like
Well-
H-Box is the best, so he's gonna win.
Yeah, Save has always been
How
a
does he
big
keep
like
doing it?
consistency. Like I'm gonna go with the boring pick H-Box. Wheat's like scrambling to find like a reason to pick Leffen. Ambi, Ambi, you were pretty fair with predictions. I would usually just go with who was like playing Marth that tournament.
Yeah,
Like, I'd
that
be
sounds like you.
I'd be like, dude, Zane has come so close to being Hurrybox. He's gonna do it now. And then Ambi and I would get into long arguments in the evening, and Ambi would tell me why H-Box actually intentionally throws away stocks to deliberately keep... Oh my god, dude, I remember that.
I do remember that.
That was the most ridiculous thing in hindsight. No, you don't get it. Hurrybox literally throws stocks so he can intentionally drain the stamina of his opponent and get a trump card on them later.
That's not quite what I said, but it definitely is
I was
a
like-
similar vibe, dude.
Ambi, do you realize how insane what you're saying is? And Ambi would be like, listen, dude, have you seen the last 5 sets?
No, dude.
Have you
That's
seen Hurrybox clutch them all out? It's not a coincidence. Zane will lose the next 4 sets against Hungrybox, and they will all end the same way.
Okay, actually, Eric and I agreed on that one.
Dude, the Hungrybox throws stocks to deliver.
I didn't say he throws stocks. That's
Oh,
not what I
stop.
said, bro.
Dude,
You
the
can,
Zane
you can
one.
you can find whatever debate lord semantic
no,
thing you
dude.
want. Dude, you were a big H-Box.
I did think that
thrower
he
sometimes.
sandbagged and kept things close to the chest for big moments. That's
Yeah.
what I said.
and kept a trump card for later.
Yeah, dude. That's what I, okay.
Dude, the Zane prediction right there is so funny because I came around to that at the end, and obviously it's like history didn't vindicate me, considering how like Zane has played versus H-Box, how
Right.
H-Box is playing now, how Zane is playing now, how they will play in the future, like. But dude, I remember what was it? It was like 7-3 or whatever H-Box sets, but every single one was like last hit, and I'm like, if he can't win last hit, if he loses like 70% of the sets last hit, then it's losing 70% of the sets. And I was like going off about how it's like I would rather see like Mewtwo King win. I was like, Mewtwo King's gonna like get 3 out, or he's gonna like somehow get a win.
Is he
Dude,
still
it was-
competing a lot, or is he just messaging people to join his tournament?
Mostly the latter, but he did compete at a exhibition with Plup lately.
I really do love your involvement in the Melee scene, Save. It's like you are there for the memes.
Mhm.
You know that you're up to date on the memes, but the actual like results between them might not be there.
Yeah, no, I check in on all of the Patreon chats, which you should subscribe to the Melee Stats Patreon so you get to see the only chats I pay attention to
Music to my
in the Discord.
ears.
But I'm always watching. I'm there. I'm like the eyes from Gatsby or whatever. Well, except for results and
You're
things
the
that matter.
Dr. TJ Eckelberg's
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
god.
I want to mention. Sorry, I want to mention one last thing about the Zane H-Box thing. The factor that makes this even funnier. These arguments that Ambi, me, and so many other people would have would only get more and more intense, like when H-Box won a tourney and all of us were annoyed about it. Because it's like, we're all frustrated. Like, I remember at Pound, when H-Box won Pound, like, after the crab thing, we were just, like, sitting in silence in the car ride back to, like, Ambi's apartment or whatever. And Ambi was like, he's never going to lose. Literally no one can
did
beat him.
say that.
If he loses, it's on purpose. Like, we literally throw everything we can at the stupid player, the stupid character, and he
Oh,
just beats
dude,
all
I
of
was
them.
mad
So
that
it's
they
gonna-
threw the crab at him too.
Yeah,
I was mad that they threw the crab because he came out like a hero. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
he's there forever, dude.
Sitting next to Eric and Wheat has like his hand in his
Well,
face. I'm
I
like
mean-
watching gawking, and Eric just goes like, "This is literally the one thing that could have made this tournament even worse than it already was."
So I believe that I left after game 1 of set 2. I like call these things a lot.
You did, true.
So I left. I sat outside of the venue. I also did the same thing at Shine 2019. I think that this is like a very like suburban dad thing where you turn off the game. I haven't watched the last 5 minutes of the past few Sixers games, for the same exact reason. But yeah, that's basically what I was doing. If I was like literally Mango do a nair in the corner that I didn't like, and I'd be like, I'm out. It's like, wait, there's three more games. What are you doing? I was like, no, I know.
We know how this goes.
Do you remember the Shine Grand Finals with HBox SJ? It was me, my spouse, you, and Ding and Pika next to each other. And the minute that losers finals ended, and HBox SJ was about to begin, I was like, oh wait, do you guys want to head out, or do you want to go home? And Wheat was like, hold on. And then immediately after the first stock, Wheat was like, all right, I've seen enough. Let's go. Let's go home.
Yeah, those days, we don't really see that much anymore.
No, not at all.
HBox and Grands might not be the same that we... Hey, HBox and Grands themselves, definitely not something that we've seen a lot.
I got out at the right time, it sounds like.
Yeah, you're a big HBox stan. You couldn't see him. You couldn't see him like he currently is.
Just remember him how he was. #1 in my heart, baby.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like big things that have changed in the past year, that's a huge one. Do we really understand it? I think scientists are still working on that one. We're working day and night to try to figure out like how real any of this is. But
the one weird trick that's needed to make Hungrybox's netplay setup closer to CRT.
I actually do love that there are a few top players who I think are underperforming by their very high standards. And we've seen several tweets from a couple different top players where it's like, I finally fixed it. I've been doing this thing wrong the entire time. And like the thing that they've been doing wrong is like, how could you even mess this up? And then every one of their fans is like, finally, you'll be winning again. And then the next tournament happens and they just like do literally the exact same that they did.
Or they play secondaries.
Or they play secondaries. Yeah, dude, I don't really know if there is a huge, amount to talk about in the top players, because I think a lot of it's kind of up in the air. Like, obviously, we talked about Zane. You brought up Zane. Zane is like the #1 player. I mean, I bet he was when you left, and he still is. We definitely see Mango as the pretty solid #2. And then you get to like IBW, S2J. I think Wizrobe is in that conversation. SFAT's been doing really well for himself recently. But like, these are all players who we definitely expected to see. Maybe you expect to see like Axe in there too as well. Maybe we don't see that. But I think where 2021 or Slippy Melee, whatever you want to call it, whatever time period you want to use, the differences really shined in the players who we see really start to pop off. Like, if you were to have a SaveAsUntitled Rising Stars profile,
you make one every 3 days and never get through all of them.
Yeah, you like in the past, you would have to go to 3 majors and get 33rd or 25th at each one of them, and then you get that lovely little
DM for
blue
me on
background.
Twitter.
You get that you get that DM. Then you see your character main on that blue background, and that's all you need to succeed. Now you like literally have to watch 1 week of tournaments, and there's like 5 different people to pick. So I think we're gonna put you on the spot again. A fun little game is like the Melee that you were watching when you decided to take a little bit of a step back. If you had to make any Rising Star profiles or any predictions at the time of who was going to really become a threat at that top level, like who do you think were the rising talents?
It did, and I'm gonna steal Ivan from saying in the chat, but I guess I did make the spotlight on Aklo when he's coming up. I think LSD was placing really well a lot in online tournaments. I forget if Whiskers 2 was I think they had a good job at that New York local. I don't know if they were playing in netplay. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember all of like the people who did weirdly well at Untitled events. But those are the ones those are the ones that come off the top of your head. And I would cheat and say like B-Bats or something. Yeah. But I think that was just more B-Bats being in the circle of being very active at Untitled events.
I gotta admit, speaking of B-Bats, he's from Jersey. I gotta admit, this wasn't like a bad nature thing, but this was gonna be like a fun gotcha where you'd name some player who like obviously didn't really rise in the ranks or something like that. You'd be like, Bladewise, I bet's doing really well. But no. Dude,
no, you just got owned. You definitely picked like 4 players that popped off pretty hard.
I think that your Melee intuition, that's one of the things that didn't really leave. Yeah, dude, you really hit the nail on the head there. What if I told you in that same realm, is someone who you might know, Sheik player, very very good. You might know him as Billy Bobob.
Yes.
Who is from the first Untitled event? This mysterious Billy Bobob. Do you remember who that was?
Oh, the legendary. I'm tempted to change my name in the Melee Stats Discord to Ben's #1 fan. Actually, there probably already is.
There's
a Ben's
definitely like
'1
four
fan.
people with that exact.
We have
username.
a couple Ben
love
fans.
Ben.
Like,
I love Ben. Is Ben's internet still bad?
No comment.
I still love
it's good.
Ben. I
I know
still
it's
love
bad.
you.
Good.
Ben, I still love you. You know we've had many conversations about your internet.
This Ben's internet's still bad, dude.
Poor
I will
Ben.
say that the Ben internet
He spent the last year, just to get roasted. Oh yeah,
I'm so sorry,
Ben. That guy had good turn results. Does he have good internet now? Or?
Oh no.
Dude,
No, he's good. His internet's fine now. It's all good.
Yeah, he's good.
His internet is very good. It's not very good. It's good. It's serviceable. It's getting worse. So that's talking about it.
Oh no.
No, Ben, whatever Ben's internet situation, it is playable enough where he is able to shine as a top 20 or whatever player you want to classify him as.
He's top 20. Oh, that's awesome.
He's
I
top
don't know
N, where N is some pretty small number relative to the
he's
field.
basically in like that tier. Like he's able to compete with that.
Whatever you want to
That's still
call.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that if you were to, dude, this game's so weird because I feel like I had such a good grasp before. Like I could be like, yeah, they're pretty good, like top 55, and they ended up getting ranked like 57th or something like that. But now it's like such a hard thing to put a number on that. But regardless, like if you actually wanted to make a list of top 20 players, I think probably would be helpful to like do top 20 North American. I think Ben is, if he's not on there, he's in contention for top 20. He's just outside. Yeah, whatever Ben has been doing since you last saw him, he has been popping off hard. He is
that
a
thing that
force.
Seal just said about him being 8-3 on age? Is that
Yeah,
how
he
much of a
destroys
meme
him.
is that?
No,
What?
that's not a meme. He beats him up. It's like
What?
very bad. It's very ugly.
This
he
is incredible.
Whoops Hbox.
Okay, it's just a message for Twitch chat. Don't give too much away to save, because I think the next
There's a
Oh, but there's more. Oh, this is awesome.
There's
the
more
next
to come for
segment.
this, so,
There's a lot.
I can't wait
coming
till
for
I
that.
go away for another like 3 years and like Ben's the greatest player of all time. He's the sixth god.
dude, I have talked about this with Aiden about like, I was like, what if I just drop it all? What if I just like go to the mountains and I walk through the mountains. I just like go from one end of Europe to the other, and for like 2 years, on foot. And I was like, and then I come back and I look at results, and I was like, I think this has happened, because I remember having to seed LACS 2, and I was like, who are you guys? I was one of the haters who like, I was like, NetPlay isn't real. I'm not gonna watch this. And dude, I cannot imagine. Because what I went through was probably a 2-month break of like watching some Melee streams. So I cannot imagine what this looks like to you. This must be crazy.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Like I do see like results like hop in the net play channel every once in a while. The Melee Stats go scroll, and I'll be like, am I reading that right? Like it's so wild, and that kind of is part of the thing that keeps me from getting or coming back in a casual capacity, because I'm like, I can't. I have so much to learn. There's so much time I would have to invest to be like, who is everyone now?
Yeah, it definitely, you definitely would have to put a lot of work into like figure out all these people who are winning these like random netplay events. One of the cool things about like being that involved in Smash before was that like there was a lot of players. If you really wanted to like keep digging, like the players would just keep popping up, so you could learn as much as you wanted. But like generally, the person who's like winning or like getting third at their Utah local like wouldn't really matter much if you're just talking about like top 64 or Genesis. But now that we can see like 3 tournaments a week that might have players from all over who are entering. It's like, yeah, man, I don't know at this point. It's such a different world.
Yeah, the accessibility, I imagine, is a huge part of that, where everyone's able to get so good. Like Ambi was saying, I don't know if you said this in the pre-show or the actual show, that people are be able to get good at every single matchup. There's not an excuse anymore to like be bad at something, or like Edwin was saying of those like save states being able to do that. Like if you want to get good and you have the time, you will.
I want to mention another rising star that you're probably at least modestly familiar with. Over the last like 4 to 5 months, I would say Kadoran has definitely like really taken off.
Oh, hell yeah.
You might have recognized him as like the rising SoCal player who would always finish second to face roll at the Irvine weeklies, but he's like beaten Plup. He beats a ton of the West Coast now. He also TOs the TMTs every week. So he's just been putting a ton of time into Melee, and he's been getting a lot better.
Yeah, I think I remember in entering like a couple of the early West Coast Untitles. The name definitely does seem familiar. That's awesome, dude. This is crazy. We're in a whole new world,
dude. Yeah.
Kadoran 3-0'd none. That was like one of the ugliest that was one of the ugliest beatdowns of like Marth Falcon.
Edwin, I have a question. Like, is there anywhere else I could watch something about Marth Falcon that would be like an intense beatdown? I've been looking to learn a little bit more, but I can't.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I know about intense beatdowns, but I'm sure there's unexpected beatdowns.
Yeah,
right?
unexpected beatdown. Yeah, one might say rest in peace, Captain Falcon. No, thank you, Save. But this show is for you, not just for me to plug the work of me and my fellow friends on this show. So, but I do appreciate the shill from a friend.
It was a very nice video.
Thank you.
Save, is there anything else you want to ask about Melee? Any like burning Melee questions that we can answer for you?
You probably have some more after this segment that's coming up, but
yeah.
And when I say burning Melee questions, I don't mean like the one that you asked a few months ago, which was how to beat Marth as
Game & Watch. That's Game & Watch. I was playing a lot of Marth Game & Watch.
Yeah, you said that, and then we were like, I don't know, man, what's going on? And you were like, oh, I'm just playing my roommate a lot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Game Watch, huh? And you're like, yeah, I'm beating him all the time. Like, so why do you have to ask questions about how to beat him?
Because I thought it was a good bit to like not tweet anything for 3 months and just be like, hey, well, let's go. This is what I'm doing. This is the most important thing in Melee to me right now. Everything else comes second. But of questions, honestly, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is there other large in-person events that are coming up soon? How's that transition looking back into real, quote-unquote, real events?
So, we talked about Summit as our first big event in person. But no, we are actually seeing some stuff in 2021 that has already garnered like a lot of entrants. So the big one is Riptide. Do you remember Riptide?
Mm-hmm.
So that was some of the people who ran Smash and Splash kind of went off on their own and created Riptide, which is another water park tournament. It has Ultimate, it has Melee, it has Project Plus, and maybe some other games. It had a 1,000-person cap and like immediately hit that.
Oh,
and
wow.
then they're like, okay, here we got some more venue space. It's like a 2,000-person cap, and then it like hit that. So in terms of Melee, I think we're at somewhere like, I believe registration. I think they might have opened it again. It was somewhere around like 600 and something at some point.
Wow.
We are going to see Main Stage 2021, and Low Tide City, which is going to be another water park tournament. Kind of weird how
it seems like a very not COVID safe way to come back. All the Melee players are going to get whatever that new variant is, and then we're going to be back to
there's going to be something in the water. Maybe we shouldn't have a bunch of water themed events, but who knows? I'm not a scientist. But yeah,
some mask themed events. I think that'd be cool.
A masquerade? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the Melee masquerade. That's what I want to see. And bring it over and like somewhere and put it in Philly, put it in Atlantic City. I'm happy. There we go.
Yeah, dude. We gotta drag if there is a big Philly, if there's a major in Philly or a major in Atlantic City or something, tri-state area, we gotta drag you out to that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you have to interview top players like you've been like watching them the entire time. But it's like 2022, and you're like, yeah, so what did you think about beating Armada at Big House 7? It's like I don't remember that. Yeah, no, it'll be sick. All right, so you're good with questions? Do you think you're caught up?
I think I'm well, I have a feeling like that's a bit of a bait with whatever's coming up next.
Well, I mean, no better way than to test you, right? So we've got a little bit of a segment coming up. we're gonna two truths and a lie. You know this one. We're gonna give you 3 statements, and you tell us which one is the lie. So we got a couple coming up for you.
Oh no.
Anoke, since we were taking over the Edwin Budding Stock Exchange, much to the chagrin of our myriad fans, would you like to lead us off?
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to lead us off with this new edition of Two Truths and a Lie. Save, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
So, Save, the following Fox players have defeated Hungrybox over the last year. SFAT, Aklo, and Harry Pogger. Which one of these is the lie?
SFAT.
Incorrect. Sorry, excuse me. Correct. I'm just messing with you. Don't worry about it.
I feel like Wheat's 100% right on me keeping up with the memes because I saw something about Harry Poggers and I was like, Aklo's probably beat him.
Quick question,
I like
though.
that you're like, Aglo's probably done it. SFAT probably not.
I mean,
Quick question though. Did you learn that Harry Pogger defeated him from Zets, aka Smashcasts, aka the CEO of Melee TikTok?
I did not. But I do.
Never mind.
I do love me some Zets, yeah.
Never mind.
That's on TikTok, dude. He's hitting it big on that platform.
He's doing work. All right, so now you're 1 for 1, but here comes a trickier one. The following Peach players have defeated Hungrybox over the last year: Laud, Kalamazoo, and Blue's Clues. Which one is the lie?
Laud did play a lot against Michael at Untitled. So I would probably guess Kalamazoo, probably from inactivity. Because I don't think he's as active as the other two.
Well, the formula you used wrong. The formula you used is completely off the mark, but you got it right.
You did lay on the correct.
I should just say it and shut up. Cool. That's what I learned on the old podcast, that I should have stuck with that.
Keizu somehow is one of the best West Coast players right now, and when Game 5 last hit with Hungrybox, he did not beat Hungrybox like Laud did multiple times, and like Blue's Clues did. So you're 2 for 2.
It's also worth noting, Save, that Kalamazoo was 1 stock away from being winner's side of grand finals at Four Loko Fight Night. He literally had the most insane run to 3rd place at that tournament, where he beat Moki, and I think he either beat IBW or he beat Mango at that event. But he has wins.
Yeah, that's the one where he beat Mango's Falco and then beat 2 games of
Mango's
Mango's
he beat Falcon's Falco and then 2 games of Mango's Falcon, and then he also beat IBW. So Kalamazoo's been super popping off.
Oh wow. God damn. So much has changed.
But apparently not enough, because you're 2 for 2. So let's go on to the
I
third
think this
question.
is more a read on you as a person, Edwin, than it is on Melee.
Yeah,
Maybe.
You're definitely taking the test and not like actually reading the questions, right? It's like you don't know you're a good test taker, as every 16-year-old calls themselves.
So let's put yourself to the test. The following Puff players have defeated Hungrybox over the last year: Dawson, Michael, and Toussaint.
Well, I know Dawson did, because you got a rep for my boy. Toussaint hasn't.
Ooh.
Oh, did I ruined my perfect streak?
Yes. The answer was Michael. Michael has not defeated.
Oh man,
last year.
That one was hard.
Michael's the best player of all time.
He is, in fact, the best player of all time, but he has yet to beat Hungrybox.
Damn. Oh, Michael hasn't been nearly as active. I just remember all of my net play. Maybe that just fried
you know
my
what?
brain.
I
That's
think
actually
Michael
why I
doesn't
quit
like
Melee.
rollback. I think he was just a delay lord. Like, as soon as rollback came out, he just stopped entering. That was weird.
Yeah, Michael's activity is kind of strange because he plays a lot with Chicago, but he doesn't like play much with people from other regions.
Yeah.
And you would think it would be the other way around.
I mean, someone famously got his start as a Smash Ladder grinder, number 1 on the Smash Ladder before he was ever top 100. And yet, rollback comes out and he's good. He doesn't need to play online Melee anymore.
I know you're saying he hasn't been as active. Has Michael had better results recently than Hungrybox? How close are those two? Or what is?
He hasn't shown us enough at like big, like he attends Chicago rollback events, or he plays in Chicago. Can you attend a rollback event? He plays in Chicago rollback events a lot, but he doesn't like he doesn't really enter bigger stuff very often. So
Yeah,
like he does have results, but it's not like stuff we can evaluate.
Yeah,
we did have a
unfortunately,
big
it's
flame war
Arizos
about
here.
whether or not he was better than Toussaint, though. Hungrybox Toussaint, like that's a very
Yeah.
interesting discussion. I think we mostly
That
landed
one.
on Hungrybox still being a little bit better, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, the really fun one was that week or whatever when we're like, is solo battle better?
Yes.
Were we a little off our rocker as a melee community for saying that one? But no, Toussaint and H-Bucks, especially right now, considering Toussaint's level of wins in the past like month, 2 months, I think it's definitely up in the air.
Dude,
But,
if solo
let's get
battle
back.
just like figured out Fox, that's it. He just gets beat up by the
He's gonna
sick
get it, and then it's gonna
European
be nuts.
foxes.
But
Or he's gonna come here and like he's gonna beat all of the American or a bunch of the American foxes. Watch. Anyways, sorry. Let's go on to the next question. Now you're 2 for 3, but you have a chance to make it 75% now. So tell me, which of the following Sheik players did not defeat Hungrybox? I guess that's just reframing the two truths and a lie thing. So your options are Ben, Fable, and Dreffen.
Okay. I feel like this is another. I'm more going. I want to say Dreffen. I feel like I'm answering Edwin, not answering the question. I'm gonna say Dreffen.
That's correct. Dreffen has not defeated Hungrybox.
Definitely a question that was written before Seal got his little fingers on
yeah,
the
alas,
keyboard.
Thanks,
I
Seal.
think you might have had trouble
His
with
little
that one.
his little chic nerd fingers on the.
Oh, of course I know.
dude, his
Ben
little,
was
his little
great
dumb
before.
chic fingers.
The chic fingers, dude.
the
yeah,
needles
okay,
and everything.
Dude, you're killing it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Seal,
Though.
put your
Edwin, what else we
gun in
got?
chat.
All right,
We
here.
got the hard ones.
Save. You ready for this?
Yes. I
The
think.
following, the following Marth players have defeated Hungrybox over the last year: Kuyashi, Stango, and LSD. Which one hasn't?
See, I don't want to put my Philly boy in blast, but that one feels like the right option. Actually, I can't put my Philly boy in blast. I'm gonna go Koyashi.
Ooh, I'm sorry. You should have put your Philly.
No, I couldn't do it. I
No.
kept my integrity.
It is the
I
honor,
understand.
the honor pick, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand as a fellow Stango fan, and as that the temptation, but no, Stango has not defeated Hungrybox.
Yeah, that was what my heart told me, but I didn't want to. Damn. He was in
So-
one of the. Oh my god, I like the anecdotes I'm getting from Seal in the chat. Seal has been banned from the chat. Oh no. Edwin's
Okay.
In this essay,
So-
in Monday Morning Marth, why SSBM Seal should be canceled.
All right, here's the second to last one. Okay, you ready for the save?
I wonder what the question is going to be.
Which of the following Falco players? God, I keep reframing it. The following Falco players have defeated Hungrybox in 2021. Bones, Elliot, and Magi.
Bones has been, I imagine, kept up with his grind. That I do not recognize Elliot, so I assume they have to have beaten H-Box. So I would guess by process of elimination, Magi. Is it Magi?
Yes, correct. Magi, she has not defeated Hungrybox.
All right. Dude, this is all
Evan, you
just...
could have thrown like a random name in there. You could have been like John
literally-
Smith.
yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, he beat H-Box.
I don't know who Elliot is, but he's probably beat. That's very funny.
Dude,
All right.
it can't all be H-Box things. Come on. Let's switch it up a little bit. You got what do you got for Save? He's obviously
well.
he's too smart for us.
All right,
can I
Sable,
say?
I got a banger of a final question for you. This is a really good one. And if you get this one correct, then you basically win this round. And if you get it wrong, you lose.
Make or break.
All the
For
All
sure.
right.
You're gonna remove me from the Patreon chat. I'm gonna have to pay to read it. Don't actually do that.
No.
Yeah, you saw the gears turning in my head like.
Well, I mean,
Is it worth throwing my friendship out the window?
don't act like it isn't worth $5 to support us, and so I'll save shields for later.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. The
Uh-huh.
last question.
Mhm.
The following Fox players have defeated Ben in 2021.
Mhm.
H-Twa, Panda, and Ambus Sinister.
I feel like this is a trap.
You know, with all the H-Box shit, you could pick a random name.
No. see, but I'm good at pattern recognition. That is for sure. But I also know Edwin, and he likes causing problems. So my guess, not for anything against you, Ambi, but because Edwin likes causing problems, is Ambi Sinister.
All right, remove him from the remove him from the channel. You're paying $5, kiddo.
Shit.
You kept up with Dawson. You said Sango even though you knew it wasn't right. You rode for your boys every single opportunity except for the
No,
one that
Ambi,
counted.
no. No, I didn't.
It's okay.
No. Damn it. I was playing more than Edwin. Damn it.
All right, let's finish the episode off with just us three.
My questions from Ambi for this last section are to be a whole lot harsher. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? You even playing Melee anymore? You probably go 0-2 still. I'm like, that's not a question, Ambi. He's like, I don't care.
I don't know. I mean,
So I must say that you performed quite admirably in this, but because you got the last question wrong, it was all a failure.
Yeah.
you know, it was $5.
It was a test for if I would put my friendship or the question first.
Yeah, this whole
You know,
thing
it was funny
see
because
how much you
it
cared
was
about
funny
Eric.
because I was actually hesitant. I thought, oh, Save will immediately know that like Ambi beat Ben. He'll pop off. He'll be like, oh, I'm so happy for you, Ambi. Like you've been doing great. I'm so
He
glad.
picked
you
me.
No, I thought I remember reading a chat of like Ambi getting close to beating someone, but not beating someone.
That sounds like my entire Melee career,
Yeah, it
honestly.
sounds like his career. Yeah, dude.
But I feel like that going. Anyways,
But I actually admire it because the thing is like Ambi beats good players and like it's really awesome, right? But the thing is, it's like for the rest of us, like people like me, it's like we beat players and then they become good after they lose to us. So whenever you tell people about like when you beat someone good, it's like but did you beat them really? Like were they actually good? But now but Eric has gotten like the thing down of actually being good at the game. So.
That's very debatable.
yeah. Also,
Okay,
Edwin,
being
I
competent at the game.
I don't have that experience of beating someone and they getting better. I don't really. When I
Well,
competed
I
in
think-
Melee tournaments, I didn't really beat anybody. So
think
I do
Beppo
remember.
has that
So
for
I
all
do
of
remember the
Melee.
one
Oh,
tournament
no.
that you entered. The one tournament you entered
know.
after making like 10 videos on like Rising Ice Climbers players. He had not
Oh
gone
my
to
God,
any
yes,
tournaments,
yes,
dude.
this I deserve. This.
He made like 10 videos on like the fastest improving ice climbers. I think he entered one event. I think it was like Gang 2.
Yeah, he gets wobbled by Dio.
He got wobbled by Dio, and he was just malding in our Discord for like 2 hours, dude. He was so mad. He was like, I can't believe this bullshit
Dio.
mechanic.
Yeah.
You got Dio, dude. Who would
Yeah.
use this bullshit mechanic? They need
Yep.
to pick another character.
I've never been so mad in my life.
It
I
was so
wonder-
funny.
In like the dominoes that fall down, I wonder, was that the catalyst for banning wobbling? Like if we take a step back and we look at it, it's this
that
Discord.
The propaganda slowly oozed in through my videos.
Yeah, you were brainwashing us this entire time. We didn't even realize.
Yeah, we all just thought Ice Climbers were so awesome until SaveAsUntitled stopped highlighting Ice Climbers players.
Dude, forget Hungrybox. Save controls the narrative.
He really do be controlling the narrative, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Sam, I think this is a perfect time for you to control your own narrative here. So we had a lot of fun catching you up on what's been going on in Melee recently, but I mean, I think like what I genuinely want to know, as someone who I think I could call you a friend.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh, 100%. And what the fans want to hear, like, we really want to know what's going on with you, man. Like, I think having seen you take this big break has been really important for a lot of people who maybe take the content that is made in this scene for granted, and specifically took your content for granted. And I think a lot of people have been just really wanting to know what's going on with you. So I want to give you the opportunity to let us all in.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for saying that about taking my content for granted and like missing you. I do really appreciate because I still have like notifications on for YouTube comments every once in a while. I'll be like, hey, I'll get a comment of like, hey, when are you coming back, Save? Which is at the same time being like, oh, that's so sweet, and be like, oh no. But no, I've generally been good. I've been living the normie life. Not having all of this time to put into Melee kind of has allowed me to pursue a lot of other hobbies. I was talking to Ambi in the pre-show about I'm learning how to code Python. I've been playing a whole lot more music. I'm trying to, my band is hopefully going to start playing shows soon, so that's exciting. Like it's nice to be able to kind of pursue that. And I still every once in a while there's a group of my friends who I play like doubles with every once in a while, because doubles is really nice because I'm able to hide the lack of skill I have behind another player, or playing support, which is also just means stock tanking so the good player can win and play in doubles.
Save, that's music to my ears. That is literally what
Shut up.
I've been talking about doubles being this for so
dude,
long.
Don't interrupt Save while he's talking about his wholesome doubles games.
Sorry, it was very important to talk about how stupid doubles is. Save, continue on telling us about your life journey.
Yeah, no, of just. It's hard to broad strokes put a year. I mean, you guys from on the Melee perspective of that, it's really hard to compress a year into a short amount of time. It's been good. I feel a whole lot better. I picked up a bunch of other hobbies too. It's been fun, and kind of it made me appreciate more like the time in the Melee scene and having all that stuff. Like I definitely do miss it, but it was very stressful, and I don't see myself coming back to it anytime soon.
What type of hobbies have you been partaking in recently?
A lot of music stuff, like writing my own and like playing drums in the band that I'm in. I got really into running for a bit. You can thank Chroma for kind of
that sounds like him
putting me on that. I signed up for the Philadelphia Marathon. I don't know if it's going to go well for me, but there's a period of time I was in between jobs and I was running like 4 or 5Ks a week, just like I had nothing else to do. Yeah, but those are probably a lot into music. You can see also that whiteboard behind me is all, I want to put out music soon, and that's the only way to motivate myself with like putting.
I remember you had this for your YouTube videos.
Dude, yeah, it's always a whiteboard with him. I love it. It doesn't. The whiteboard will be different. It'll have different stuff on it, but it's always going to be a whiteboard.
I actually ordered one that's coming by to help me organize my tasks and everything. So
it's so useful.
Definitely can vibe with that.
Oh, I also have the doors closed. I am fostering a cat. They're like 13 or 14 years old. My friend works as a vet tech, and they were going to put him down, and he had like a ear infection or something. And they're like, he's going to be fine. It's just like a small surgery. And their owner was like, nah, whatever. So the person, the vet tech works there. She doesn't have room in her house. So I'm just letting him hang around. He's nice. He's annoying, and I'm a little bit allergic to cats, so it can be bothersome at times. But
dude, what the fuck you're saying?
What?
You're fostering a cat even though you're allergic to cats?
You're sniffling in your room or whatever.
That's what allergy medication is for.
Oh my
I'll be
God,
fine.
Dude, this is like the exact opposite of that Andrew Yang tweet. Like it's it's so noble of you.
Oh no.
You're such a sick dude for persevering through this allergy.
Yeah, have you ever considered running for mayor of Philadelphia?
Oh my God, dude.
Good Lord. Yeah, no, do you guys have any like sort of questions? I know that's what I think this section is called. I don't. It's hard to talk about myself unprompted because it feels.
Well, okay, so
weird.
We'll be fair. There's two sections. There's catching up with Save, which is just the boys, and then there's questions for Save, which is like Patron channel, Twitch chat. Want to know about SaveAsUntitled. Like, I want to know about you, the dude. Scott, yes. Yeah, so what I want to know is, did your band on Spotify or anything? Like, where can the people find your creative pursuits these days?
We are not on Spotify yet because we still have trouble having band practice sometimes. And then my personal stuff was up on Spotify, but I didn't like it and I wanted to change my name. So that is still
Oh,
a work
that's
in
a classic.
process.
Okay.
But I'll
Oh,
be
dude,
sure
I know
to-
Anoke loved your old music. He would play it all the time.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Is that like no cap?
No cap, dude. He would.
No, no. I would
I
literally,
remember. I
like-
remember seeing him listening to your music, like with his Spotify connected Discord account one day. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's like, "Dude,
Oh.
I'm just listening."
That's
Yeah, dude.
actually super sweet.
I'm not even joking. Like I would listen to your old stuff and I'd be like, yeah, like, you know, this is all like I can see the concepts. It's a little rough around the edges. I don't know if I'm into like the spoken word poetry stuff, but like but then some of your mixing was pretty solid and some of your like later stuff. And I actually there was one song that I actually literally could cover on guitar.
It was the outro song, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not even joking, Save. This is a real thing. When I went
he
to when I
played
went
it for
to
me.
yeah, when I went to the gang in 2019 and I was like, "Hey, Wheat, do you have a guitar or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Here you go."
wait,
He gives me-
wait, where are we? Like,
In the venue.
hey, we do
In the
have a
venue.
guitar.
Right, goes up on stage.
I
I've
did
gotta
not
play
set the
this.
stage. Let me explain. So
Okay.
I go
It
out.
was
on
at
a
my
long-
house.
Yeah, I was at his house after a long drive. I go, "Hey, Wheat, you got a guitar by any chance? I know you play. And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like here you go." I play a couple of songs. I play like Drive by Incubus or whatever. I play Paranoid Android, whatever. And then it just hits me. I was like, "Hold on." Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then I call Wheat down because like Wheat's getting something. And he's like, "What? Oh my god!" And then I just sang it right there,
Oh,
playing. I figured out the chords by ear and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will say if Edwin is a huge fan of Save's music, you can check that out by like Ambi said, the Discord. Discord also gave you away a few times, man. I respected your grind so much. I remember every time you released a single, it would say "Save As Untitled, listening to Spotify," and it would just be the same song for like 18 hours straight.
Put that playlist on repeat.
I respect that.
My Spotify all those sites that give you stats are ruined for me because the top like 17 songs are all me. Like I think one of those like Spotify year apps came up and it was like your top song of the year. You. And it's like I was like, oh yeah, self-love's important, whatever, man. But like I want to see the actual stats here. Oh, that's actually Weed. I know you're a big music fan as well. So for a brief period of time, I was working for the IRS processing paperwork, and that job was exactly as mind-numbing as you would expect. So to keep me sane, I listened to a lot of music, and I think in the span of 3 months, I listened to 200 albums.
Damn,
And wrote reviews for half of them just to kind of like keep me sane, and kind of was just like that was something I did for a while, and then I was like, this is probably not a very fulfilling thing to do for a job, and I got a different job.
Hell yeah. Well, we stand a king who knows what he wants with his occupation, but we also stand a review king. You can't, no matter what, you can't get away from a review lifestyle. No, that's sick. Melee, somewhat Melee related. Have you listened to Dogleg, the Melee?
I listened to some of Dogleg. The big is Kowalski Backflip like their big song.
Kawasaki, but sure.
I never got. I messed up pronunciations of names all the time for the videos and got roasted for it. So, but Dogleg's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not the most pertinent thing when it comes to your life, but
no,
Melee related. So
I think is it. Latitudes, are they like the math rock? They have that song called Stitch Face. I think I don't know. I think maybe the person who does. I'm getting off on a tangent. This is more. I should have never brought up music.
We want to hear it because this is like what you're doing, right? No. So right, like, and it's something you care about. So it's fun. It's fun hearing you talk about like the stuff you're really into.
I'm just being a normie now.
Well, are you going to join the ranks of the white emo adjacent artists who are putting out songs that relate to Melee? Like, are you gonna put out a song that's like Wave Dash Back or like KJH got 13th at whatever? Like, are you gonna become part of this illustrious group?
Oh God, I think I think I take myself too seriously to do that, even though I know it'd be a good idea, and I know I shouldn't take myself too seriously because no one else does.
The wannabe, I will say the wannabe season 3 podcast trailer with I think it was JD rapping in the background. That was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, it was like just a 10-second clip with like a melee or like an instrumental behind it. I thought it sounded great.
Do you guys remember that one of the, like, when I start making videos, right after that, JD commissioned me to, like, edit highlights for his stream every week for him. Like, that was, I was making my videos and doing that for JD, like, right when I started. That is, it feels so surreal that that was a thing, and now, like, I consider JD a friend, too. But, like, that, it just, time moves so fast.
Really does, man. It really
Ticks
does.
for all of us.
Yeah.
The sands of time.
And I do want to say I am one of the things I'm probably most grateful for from the Melee community is not only all the people I got to like communicate with like through chat and all like the people I made videos for, but definitely especially you three of like I feel like I am honestly a better person from having met you three, and especially of how you like
just me, right?
From me, from you, from Wheat and Ambi, I'm definitely a better person.
Okay, fine. Yeah, these two are fine.
Edwin made you such a better person that it was a net positive all around, even though me and Eric made you worse.
Collectively brought you down.
Yeah, so like we brought you down, but Edwin was like such a positive influence in your life that like overall it was a net positive. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's
no,
so,
but
that's
yeah,
so
but
sweet.
very seriously, I'd like a lot of the tougher conversation we've had I think I improved a lot as a person because of all of y'all, and especially because of all the Melee Stats team. So I just want to say, when you kind of called me out to do this, that was one of the first things I thought of.
Well, I mean, like it goes without saying that there's a very real chance that we wouldn't be here, being able to do a weekly podcast or being able to put out Melee content on YouTube without having the opportunity that you were able to give us. Like, we were obviously doing stuff all on our own from a very like laid back standpoint, not really front facing. But dude, those Melee Stats podcast episodes, even though they're all so old, and I'm sure I couldn't watch them right now without like just like cringing. No, like
they were funny, dude. They were definitely. We were much worse at doing podcasts, but they were pretty funny, dude.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I don't know if we are here today without having the Melee Stats podcast hosted by SaveAsUntitled.
I think you're giving me far too much credit, but I appreciate it irregardless.
I think Ambi would be here regardless. I think I wouldn't.
What about me?
I don't know where you'd be.
That's such an Edwin response.
What about me?
Pay attention to me. Bring it over here. No.
What about me?
I don't know. I feel like you'd be like.
The Book of Melee would still be there. Monday Morning Marth would still be around.
Yeah, I feel like
climbing the ladder at some marketing firm, probably.
Miserable.
It's like coming up with new words to say oil spill. He's like, I think this sounds nice.
I'd be such a sick like corporate PR shill in another reality. I'd be so good at it.
Honestly, I believe that.
I'm glad that you have some weird obsession with Melee that like grounds you from not being some like high level corporate executive who's like.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe he would have brought back the Love Doctor era of Edwin Budding.
Oh my god, you remembered that?
Yeah, no, of course, dude. I think about this all the time. You guys know about this?
That wasn't even like an Edwin Budding.
Yeah,
thing.
it was a big Nook thing, dude. In college, Edwin Budding wrote a weekly column for dating advice for UConn students, and I just like I think about it all the time, like just in the abstract, like Edwin Budding dating advice, right? Like I've never found one. Not from lack of looking. I don't know what to look for, but
I love it.
I have heard that.
Wait, did you say the name or no?
I don't think
It was
I
also
have the
called
name
Monday
right.
Morning Marth.
Yeah, I'll look it up. It's a
Monday
hard
morning
search for
mood.
it.
And despite the multiple requests I've received, I will not be adding a romance section.
Monday Morning Marth.
The countless Twitter DMs that I get from.
Dude, how do I spit game to Peach players?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
the Love Doctor, I think we're missing out on that. The Edwin content I
It was
want to
actually
see
it was actually Dr. Love, but close enough.
Oh, God.
the Edwin content that I've missed out on is the macaroni and cheese reviews.
Oh my god, I can't read that again. I wrote that as like an edgy 20-year-old trying to be like a cool hip Deadspin writer.
Yeah, you
Oh my
were like
God.
getting on this guy's case for being drunk or something, and then like all the
That's a
so
classic Anokism.
for the people who don't know the the extensive writing career of Edwin Budding. He wrote a it was for Deadspin.
Yeah, I got contracted by them, and we had like a vote on the we had a vote on like the college or like our newspaper board of who should write it, and they're like, oh, Anoki should write it, definitely. And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm writing for Deadspin. I never thought this would happen.
And
So
the
I
article was about jalapeno mac and cheese that you tried, and you said it was very bad, and everyone was like, "Shut up, dude! Mac and cheese, it's mac and cheese. Who cares? Why are you being so harsh on like dorm hall on
I think I
like-
said something like, "This isn't your blah blah blah. This is your stepdad's al dente or whatever." Like, oh my god, like
Incredible.
I was just like I was 20, like I was
I
trying.
wanna see it
trying
again.
to be.
we need a food section.
I
Food
think
and
you
beverage
guys.
section.
You might not see the food and beverage section, but you guys see that side of me, in like the very like needlessly aggressive side of me, in DMs on like the most banal stuff too. Like not anything like on actual consequential stuff. I tend to like not be too like frenzied about it, but it's typically like banal or like small things that
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, every single episode, basically, either on the episode or before or after the episode, you have told a guest that you were either going to hug them or, you know, more likely not hug them. Like, needlessly aggressive to this person who's like, yeah, I don't really know you, but okay.
Yeah. You're not on the hug list quite yet, but I could see it happening.
Totally.
Put some more work in.
I had fun talking to you. I don't think I'd hug you just yet.
But if you work hard enough, you'll get there. But I will say there is no doubt in my mind that Save is on the hug list. Save is
Oh.
has easily crossed the bar. But this is from like years ago. And I must tell you, Save, that it sounds like a small thing, right? Hugging someone, but I don't think it is. It's a very you gotta work your way up the Edwin hug ladder, and you're like, as far as I'm concerned, you're like at the top.
Oh.
You're actually
like above your
actually-
spouse, like just
No, my spouse doesn't count. But I would say that you're above Ambi right now. Ambi's in the hug list. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
man.
but I think Save is above.
Oh, I appreciate
by
that.
the end of-
But below
by-
Wheat though. Wheat's like,
by the end
Why
of
has it got to be a list? Why can't it just be a
It's just-
binary? Like,
no, it has to be
yeah.
list. It has to be a list.
Of
This is
course. How can I be so foolish?
this is my
Um,
listicle side coming out, but just for a
Top
Yeah.
10
another
people
alternate
Edwin
reality.
Budding would hug.
By the end of 2021, we're going to have the fans. They're going to when the Melee Stats Wiki comes out.
Oh my god.
We're going to have fans, in addition to our feet picks, which are going to be on there. The fans are going to like recreate the hug list. They're going to be like, I listened to every single Waiting for Game episode, and I figured it out.
Is it going to be people's like Armada number, their Edwin hug number?
Their
Like, how many
Edwin
hugs are they away from
how
being
hugs
the
are they?
hug Edwin Budding?
Yeah,
I'm-
you know what? I got a great idea. You guys got to get in on this hug list shit. Ambi, you got to get a hug list. We got to
I'm
get a
not
hug
making
list.
a hug list, dude.
Then I'll put out the video, like the hug list, the hug streak really isn't that big of a deal. It's not you just hug everyone. It's not that big of a deal.
Rising star on the hugs list. Oddly enough, hugs is not on Edwin's hugs.
Hugs is-
It'll be like a qualifications thing, dude. Like you got to get on both Ambi
Is there gonna be
and Wheat's hug
points
list,
to-
but you got to be like level 5 on both their.
You have to, you have to get references from other people
Yeah.
who are on his hug list. It's like
Yeah,
an
the
interview
Hug World
process.
Tour.
There's like a 3-step interview process, and you're just like, I'm not sure of your hug material.
Yeah, I must say that even just looking through chat, I see a lot of posters that I have a lot of respect for. I don't know if I see anyone who'd make the hug list.
God. I like this idea from Sharp Bot
Hey.
9000. Host a bracket. Winner gets to be on the hug list.
Sharp did not mention paying through the Melee Stats Patreon to play in the bracket, so
That's where I was gonna go.
Sharp is going down a level in the hug list. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's a paid bracket.
Did he say paid bracket?
Well, no, but I'm trying to be generous to him here.
I'm not.
Yeah, if we know anything, Edwin doesn't give second chances. First chances he barely gives. Dude, how long have so this podcast was about catching up with Save, and we have barely done this because you have talked about how you don't like to hug people.
Oh no, this is incredible.
Only for the last 30 minutes.
I will say that this is just like a roundabout way for Anouk to make the entire show about how he wants to hug Save. So it is like loosely tangentially related.
See, Ambi understand. You know what? I think Ambi's going up one. Ambi, Wheat, Save. It's a battle for the top spot.
Is this what the
where's
stock
Webs in
section
this?
you were talking about? Is this what this every week you're just like,
No.
so up on the stock?
Yeah. He's like, Zane just rose one spot on the hug tier list. Yeah, okay, so...
It's like Pika's Game Factory rankings.
Oh, God. Dude, that is a throwback.
We should probably...
for Edwin's hug rank.
Okay, as much as I love to talk about myself and listen to other people talk about me...
I was trying to segue, dude. I was trying to... Let me segue. So Save.
I can't segue out of my own section of talking to myself.
No,
I mean, about
Save.
myself.
No,
Although I
you're-
definitely
you're-
talk to myself also.
Save.
Yeah.
God, Edwin, you are in rare form tonight. What did you take?
Woo!
What did you have for dinner, Edwin? Is that what's proud you are?
No, not this bit again.
Okay, wait, go ahead. Sorry.
So Save, yeah, you're very high on the hug list. You know, if you were ever to go to a future major, of course, you'd probably hug Edwin. You probably hug a lot of people. What do you think your connection to Melee would be currently? Obviously, you know that you took a step back, but with events coming back, would you ever go as a spectator? Would you ever go as someone there just to see friends? Like, what's your connection right now?
Yeah, I definitely think I would go to Melee casually. I think the only thing as quote unquote involved in the scene I would maybe do commentary would be the farthest I would dip my toe back in, especially because of all of it I did during net play, during like the net play era where I do like 40 hours of commentary a week. But I definitely still really enjoy playing Melee, like the game itself, and like hanging out with people. Like if there's a event close, like I know Axis was saying like Gucci Land might be coming back, like, and I know Gene's probably going to start, like, of the Philly TO is going to start running events, so I might go to that. Yeah, definitely. Like, I still love Melee. Like nothing's ever going to change that. So I will definitely still be a part of the community in some capacity and go to events and stuff like that.
You know, Save, there's something that you mentioned before that I wanted to just kind of circle back to for a moment about the idea of kind of like balancing, you know, just like whatever time you have with your hobbies, with work and everything else. And one of the things that I know I'm going to try to do when LAN majors return is not only, just because we do a lot more now as like a group, like LAN majors are going to involve like a little bit of work for us. But something that what you said before that reminded me of this was that was with regards to like how you would treat tournaments if you ever went back to them. And something I'm definitely excited to do at the next tournament I go to is just like spend a lot of time with my friends, like going to restaurants together, you know, like even if we have a stream open because we have to keep track of results, but like,
Yep.
you know,
Sorry, Edwin, you're paying for that yourself. Melee Stats isn't paying for you to hang out with everyone. You gotta be doing
everyone.
work.
We're on the clock,
Yeah.
Edwin.
But this is my way of saying to you, Save, that like if I ever go to Philly and like there's a gang tournament or something nearby, like I'm definitely catching up with you and we're gonna go chill in Philadelphia. And I think it's fair for me to say that for Ambi and the other person on the show who literally lives near Philadelphia, Nui as well. But only separately. Like I can only hang out with you at one time, and then like Wheat can only hang out with you at another time, and then I can only hang out with Weed at another time. I can't be around too many people that I'd hug. It makes majors very difficult.
Yeah, we have to make sure Webbs is not in the same room.
It's too complicated.
Oh
Dude.
no.
Good lord.
Okay, so just to address the elephant in the room,
Uh-huh.
I literally just hugged Webbs because I was so excited to see him and I had been talking to him for so much. I did not mean to blow off Jackzilla or Spoopy at Genesis.
Edwin, I have no idea what you are talking
Yeah, I didn't know this
about.
was-
I didn't see any elephant in the room here.
No,
I talked
I
to
knew what you were
Jackzilla
talking
about it. He didn't even know that you did this. It was like, so this is not like a big controversy that you have to speak on. It's like, okay,
I
I
saw
really have to
Hugate
talk
in
about
his
this.
head, dude.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
So, we have some questions from patrons for you, but before we get to that, was there anything else that you wanted to catch us up on about your life? Anything? Any
No.
burning desire?
Nothing I can think of really. I'm excited to see what the patrons wanna hear.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you seems like you're enjoying your life. Seems like you're enjoying your job. Can we say that? Are you enjoying your new job?
Yes.
All right, I'll take it. No, this is sick. Like, I just want to wrap this up before we get into any questions because people really, really do care about you, and I think it's awesome to hear that you're doing really well. And let's get into these dumbass questions. So each week we ask for questions from our Patreon, and if you guys in Twitch chat want to throw any questions in there, if they are good, we can definitely ask them. The first one. So I know the answer to this one, but maybe you can enlighten everyone. What the fuck is a John?
Oh god. So John is the Swiss Army knife of words. Anything can be a John. John can be a verb, a noun, an adjective. It's just a Philly thing. So sometimes you'll John me that John over there. Sometimes I'll need to get that John done. It is a catch-all term for when you can't think of another word, or when you can think of another word and you refuse to use it. And I started saying John ironically, and now I say it very 100% seriously because why not?
It's hard not to
Yeah.
in the greater Philadelphia area.
Mhm.
I understand.
I think the irony word to actual word pipeline is so real. Like, I remember like in like fucking 2008 or whatever. Like, you guys remember when swag was like a thing that people were saying for like the first time? Dude, I was like, I'll never say swag. I'll never say it. And then like I was like, you know what? I'll say it ironically because it's very funny to say it ironically. And that was just like a normal word. And it's like, I really think that there's no such thing as saying a word ironically. It'll just become normal in your head like within months. So
I used to make fun of my friend a lot for saying lol in person. And I'm like pretty sure I've never said it. There's definitely I've had points where I'm like, I've never said that, right? Like I just like subconsciously said it. Definitely Discord speak has just online speak in general. Lol is very, very appropriate, especially if you want to say something that's like somewhat mean, but you don't want people to think you're mean. It's like, hey, that wasn't cool, lol. No, so I think that's a great answer. You are spot on with John. This question wasn't asked for the Patreon, but let's connect this to the John one. What would you call what's the common name for H2O?
Water.
oh, dude, he's learned.
Am I saying it right? I can't tell if I'm saying it the way I should or water. I can't tell if I'm saying it wrong or right.
No, you're good.
freaking out.
No, I've been dunked on so many times. Like I'll say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a drink of water, and then Twitch chat will be like, oh, you said that word. I was like, what?
You don't say water, which is the big one.
Water.
Oh no, he definitely did say water. He's definitely unlearned it after getting roasted enough times, I think. Because I distinctly remember having this conversation with Save at least once before.
Well, if you exaggerate anything enough times, it sounds ridiculous. Like, what, we're supposed to believe that water? Like, I don't know. Like, every dialect has its own charm.
I think we got some real questions coming up from you. So this is one of the, I make fun of our patron each week, because not coming up with good questions. This one's a banger. This one's amazing. So it's 2 questions. So what's your favorite player spotlight you made? And this one's a really great one as well. I don't know if they're connected, but what are some videos that you wish you had the chance to make? Maybe quarantine, or maybe just your involvement in Melee. Like, I don't know, 2 great content questions from the wonderful Patreon Discord. Patron?
My favorite spotlight. I like those videos a lot because I had like kind of a very basic version of kind of what you guys are doing with telling those bigger stories, and that's something I wish I was always better at, but I don't think I have the kind of to tell those longer stories, to tell those more kind of pacing and stuff. I never was really good at. I don't know. I have a lot of fond memories of making those. The one that comes to my mind immediately is the Aklo one because I think that was like probably the last one I made or close to the last one I made. I was in the process of making one for Whiskers and I never got to finish it.
Damn.
But I honestly like. I think the Aklo one would probably be the best one because I felt like I was getting a little bit better at it every time and kind of telling the story. So it seems like a cop-out answer, but yeah.
No, I think
I remember your
good.
absent page one also.
Mm-hmm. I do have to give myself. Well, I was gonna say give myself some points of being like, oh yeah, I called these people, but it was like they were already there. It was like I can't really take
that's
credit
like half
for
the
a lot
battle,
of those.
dude. I think that I think the majority of people that watched your video did not know that Aklo was already there. So I think you can give yourself a little bit of credit for knowing. But
for paying attention to what you guys say is important.
Yeah,
And
like
but this is actually an important thing. Like most people in the scene don't recognize like talent or just like skill recognition and knowing who to listen to and like knowing what they're good at is a very underrated skill in the community. We tend to think of like work done by individuals and attribute everything to them, but like the fact that like you knew who you could talk to for so many different like aspects of your involvement in the scene, right? You knew TOs that could help you out with running Untitled. You knew a group of people who would tell you like, hey, this guy's getting good, or don't make a video on this, or not don't make a video on this guy, but these are the results that you need to know. Like you knew what people were good at for what they provided for the scene, and that is not something that that many people in the scene have, even talented people in the scene.
Yeah, I think that this speaks to how easily you transferred to like the media center of a TOing role, I guess. Like this is like, I think very similar vibes where you sort of knew the steps that you needed to do to get like Untitled off of the ground pretty straightforwardly. And I think that speaks a little bit to like the skill set that you had relative to other people in the scene, I think, which is what Anoka is referring to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like skill recognition, like not just in terms of like delegation, but knowing what you can do and knowing what other people can do is like the most important thing. And like the fact that you were able to do that in terms of like your involvement in the scene and how it shifted a lot is something I think about like actually quite a bit.
Also, I will add to this. We were popping off on so many different players all the time that like it wasn't like everyone was just like Absent Page is going to be very good. It was like, oh yeah, Absent Page is good. Now let's talk about how good like Bob-omb is or something.
Bob-omb is so good, dude.
Bob-omb is so good, but it definitely took a little bit of work and like an eye for quality to find the people that last. Through all those people who we might mention. So, I mean, like, you look at your videos, and not only do you find a lot of players who went on to see success, like, you're bringing up people who might not be as big, like, might not have as many people know them if you didn't make that video. And, like, I think a lot of the players that you made did end up being top 25, top 30, top 40, or whatever you want to call it. But, like, still having that bump and having that, like, recognizability for that, player range is really important. So no, dude, give yourself the credit. That's amazing.
The players would literally like I've heard this around the block, and I don't want to give away names and stuff, but like players would literally show your videos to like sponsors and stuff and be like, this is my resume, or like this is how good I am and stuff like that, or they share them and everything. Like that's pretty important. I don't know. Like I think
did not know that. That's pretty cool. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, you're still linked in like the summit, the voting phase for Aklo.
Seriously?
Yeah, dude.
I
didn't know that. That's funny.
That's you get to like embed a video, and that was his.
Wild.
Of all the videos on YouTube, he chose that. What else do we have any good questions from the chat? Does anyone see anything?
This is the Axis one I thought was pretty good. So Axis I'm sure you know, in chat. What is the biggest thing you miss about making videos or running tourneys, if anything at all?
I've really that first for putting out videos, that first 2 hours of seeing those first comments come in, and also the relief of finally being done with the project. There's nothing like the.
You're nuts, dude. I'm like the complete opposite.
Yeah,
I feel like I put out a
Ambi-
video and I like want to go to bed. I'm like, this
yeah.
is awful.
Ambi and I are the exact opposite from you.
I feel so incredible, and probably it's more for having that relief and being able to hey, I finished this, but that just feels so good to me.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I feel like I get that feeling like a week after I put a video out. I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. That video was alright. But I feel like the first 2 hours
me a
is
long
hard,
time.
dude.
Forget the first 2 hours. The first week. We're not even 2 days from our last video coming out, and I'm already like, all right, that's it. I'm never doing this again. I'm not good. I'm not good at this. I need to find something else. This is my destiny. I am incapable of doing that's literally me for a week.
And then he'll be fine after. But
yeah.
That's a really interesting answer.
You know what it is? That's a skill that I have to pick up from you, Save.
I think there's a lot to learn from Save. One, dude, the workhorse quality of his video making was so incredible. Like, you were on a weekly content cycle, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you went 2 videos a week.
You were going to school, and weren't you also working for something?
Yeah, that's when I was going to school. We did the podcast, a video a week.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could do that.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's why I'm when I stopped doing Melee stuff, I was like, what do I do?
I guess I'll run 4 times a week.
Yeah, and then when when I'm not working, I don't have to constantly be looking at Twitter or watching streams and stuff. I can just do whatever I want all the time.
Dude, I feel like Save is the one of us that escaped, dude. He's the one that actually touched grass and is living a normal life now. I feel like I went to a national park recently. I touched the grass and it was so great. And then I came back and I'm like, I'm gonna do what Save did, only not really. And I'm like, I'm not gonna look at Twitter 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time I'm just on Twitter. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's rough. I had a similar moment where I took a 2-week break from Discord, and mostly took that time off from Twitter as well. And when I came back, I found out I missed out on discourse about $1,000 controller. I missed out on discourse about taunting, about Aklo's Link. It was so invigorating to see all the stuff I've missed, and I was like, I don't care about any of this. And then you just you're like, I'll restructure my life. I will change my Discord notification style, and I'll do this and I'll do that, and then suddenly you're just right back into the blender.
Yeah. It's hard to not, unless you go cold turkey.
Dude, you really got the escape velocity.
Yeah, but I will say, similar to those breaks, there's nothing like literally going out to a lake or somewhere that's very beautiful, that shapes everything, that puts everything in perspective. So I definitely admire the fact that you knew when to get out. You knew your limits, and if you didn't know it, you quickly realized it, and you were able to actually make a change. And I think that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I think this is a perfect opportunity to segue into the last part of the show. So, as much as we talk about Melee, we love Melee, and as kind of, as much as we envy you for being on the other side, I will still want to talk about Melee every day of my life until I die of a young disease.
Okay.
All right, move along.
Oh, goodness.
Let's roll with it.
And until that day, I want to talk about Melee every day of my life. But also, we're bigger than that, right? We contain multitudes, and what something we've been doing recently is talking about this interest that we have outside of Melee. So each week we'll talk about something that has been big in our life that week or big recently, and just anything that's not Melee related. Edwin kind of stuck a little Melee one in last week, but we love him for it. It's okay. But I wanna talk about something that is very similar to what we were just talking about, and the thing that I've been interested in recently is the nature of Pennsylvania.
The grass,
I went on a little bit of a hike the other day, and I try to do this somewhat frequently, and like every time I do it, it's amazing. Even if it's just like a little walk through like a wooded area or something like that, every time it ends up being amazing. I got to see a river. I was in this like really beautiful area. I actually took pictures that I think I posted in the Patron chat. Dude, what a trip it is to just like go out and see nature. And the beautiful thing about the Philadelphia area is that like you really don't have to go far to see a lot of cool things. I really love the like southeastern Pennsylvania and how that all is like beautifully wooded and has all these areas. And dude, one day we talked about this, Save and I. One day, Save and I we gotta take a hike at some point.
Oh yeah, that'd be
I
awesome.
definitely think that is something that both of us have enjoyed recently. So we gotta finally do it.
Yeah,
so that is my big thing for this week. Something I want to do more this entire summer. Edwin, dare we have you go this time, or are you gonna show up everyone else?
All right, so I don't have any socialist propaganda or any like reading stuff to talk about, but I will say, in the last like 3 months, I've been planning like a big get together with a couple friends, but but basically, this upcoming get together, by couple I mean a lot. I mean some of the people on the show.
Dude, that wink. God, that's just...
so subtle.
Okay, so long story short, I've been trying to take nutrition and fitness a lot more seriously. So like, in addition to kind of picking up like weightlifting and light cardio again, I've been trying to take nutrition a lot more seriously. Now, for those of you who have ever talked to me about this, I actually like just track my calories for fun. But like the thing is, I tend to be pretty shameless about it. So like even during phases where I just eat like a slob and feel horrible about myself, I'll track every bit of it. I'm generally like a very I'm generally a big masochist. This is kind of like a common thing.
Yeah, in your entire life.
But basically now for the next 2 months, I'm kind of putting myself to the fire to like really to not only just like push myself while working out, but to try to like eat really clean like six out of the 7 days of the week. And I must say, like, hitting the calorie count is not that difficult for me, but I think like forcing yourself to eat clean and to also like be really efficient with your calorie use kind of it's a real downer sometimes, like, because if you only have a certain amount of calories in the day but you have to spend like 300 on like a protein shake or whatever to make sure that you're getting all your like necessary macros, it's just like, oh god, it's such a pain in the ass. Like it I definitely feel better about myself, and like my goal is to look really good for this upcoming get together that we have coming up. But like my goal is to like not feel embarrassed when I look at myself in the mirror, you know.
Yeah, kill it.
So I'm really hoping that I knock all your socks off.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts. I don't think that counts as being melee related.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is, dude. We'll all be hunks. I am.
I mean, we already are.
You guys could be hunks. I'll look like a goblin.
You climb rocks.
We'll all be
you
hunks.
climb rocks. You'll be a hunk.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, and also I was not going to say this until tomorrow because I probably would hit a more meaningful threshold. But I started tracking my calories. Like I do that on and off, and I started doing that around mid-May, just because I don't know. I wanted to think about that, and in between a birthday and a vacation, that was all thrown in the middle. But I'm down 19.5 pounds. Not the. I was gonna wait for the big 20 and then have a whole thing. Unfortunately, having a podcast on at 19.5, but
hell yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Throw that in there, dude. We'll all be hunks at this get together.
You guys have fun with that. I don't know. I'm climbing a lot. I'm getting pretty strong. I don't look any better. So I floated the suggestion to go climbing. Well, right, this get together, and Edwin was like, I think I'd rather if wheat was in front of a grill. And I was like, why are
That's
you...
not what I said
That
at
is
all.
what you said. That is literally what you said.
Are we going to pull up the logs?
No, dude.
It was definitely not. If I said that, it wasn't related to what you were saying. I was mentioning it adjacently.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. Wheat can be in front of a grill and
Regardless.
climb
So
a rock.
I guess the thing the thing I'm into recently is the fact that I have a car again. Cause yeah, my car broke down in the parking lot of my apartment. I think it was just like cold one day and like the battery just super died. But luckily, like, you know, my fiance lives with me, so she had a car, so I've been like driving her car around to go everywhere. It's obviously like not very nice to just, hey, your car is my car now. But I was like, oh, I don't want to pay a mechanic. It's like it's gonna be so expensive because I'll probably have to tow it to a mechanic's or whatever. But I was like, I got back from that vacation, and I was like, I have so much attention that I can give to things. And I went to Home Depot and I bought a new battery, and I've replaced my battery, and I have a car again. I was like, yes, you can fix things and they will work again. So that was great. Highly recommend going to Shenandoah National Park whenever possible. You'll be able to fix your car. QED.
All right, Save. I mean, we actually might have to flip it. Do you want to? Do you want to? What Melee related has been going on? No, just say, do whatever. Anything you say, the fans will be dripping with anticipation.
No, all I was gonna say is like the biggest thing I learned from taking this step back is even in a small capacity, it's really important to kind of just take some time and self-reflect, even if that's like put away your phone, just take 10 minutes and just sit and think. I think is just super useful for kind of just resetting yourself, or like Ambi and we were saying, kind of going out on a hike, kind of doing something. And I just think self-reflection's cool. Going to therapy is pretty cool. Stuff like that. Just make sure you're always trying to better yourself and be a better person than you were the day before.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, I meant. Yeah, dude. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, this has been awesome. The time has fly by. It really just feels like old times. This is so easy to talk to y'all.
Yeah. Well, say if it feels like old times, who's going to win the next tournament? And why
H-Box.
Is it
It's H-Box.
You might be right, bro.
H-Box, second place.
No.
Dude, right back into it.
Just like old times.
Yeah, man. Are we getting to that old age where this is like high school buddies hanging out?
Yeah, dude.
Instead of talking about like the good old times in high school, we're just talking about how H-Box would win every tournament. Just me looking back fondly. Everyone else.
Yeah, because you were right every time.
Yeah, I mean, I always said you pick H-Box to win because H-Box wins. You're right. H-Box loses. You're very happy that H-Box didn't win.
Yeah. Always bet against
Unbeatable.
The person who you want to win.
I've solved the prisoner's dilemma. It's easy.
You know, at this point, usually we get some plugs in, but it kind of seems like you don't really have anything to plug. I don't know if you want to plug any social media, or you got your band.
Your music?
I mean, I don't have anything out there yet. If the only thing I would plug is if you, I notice like as you guys promote the show on Twitter, but if you can get off Twitter, get off Twitter. That is all.
Yeah, no, dude. That's what the mountain told me.
Give your account info to someone else. I will probably be privating my Twitter as soon as we get off this call again, now that I have nothing to promote. Just, I don't know. Go subscribe to Melee Stats on Patreon and to their YouTube channel. They're making some of the best, if not the best, Melee content that's out there now. So go do that.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really... I'm really like happy to have such a small content creator like you, like the smaller content creators on.
Like a pizza shop.
You're at like 14K, and I know it's really important for us 19K people to really put you under our wings. No, dude, this has been amazing, and I guess the only thing that can follow the advice to get off Twitter is to follow that with our plugs. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at MeleeStatsPod, twitter.com/MeleeStatsPod. If you want to follow us on YouTube, there's a new video out, a new film from Edwin Budding, Rip Captain Falcon. You can watch that on Melee Stats. If you want to watch episodes of this or bonus features, you can do that on Melee Stats Archive. On YouTube, you can subscribe to us on patreon.com/MeleeStats. You can subscribe to us here, twitch.tv/MeleeStats. I don't think we have anything else. What else we got?
I think
We don't do
that's-
TikTok anymore, do we?
No, we tried TikTok and it didn't work.
But yeah, hey, go watch the 2 TikToks we did or whatever. Dude, it has been such a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just glad to hear that you're doing well, man. I know that like all of us missed you a good amount, so super good to hear from you again.
Yeah, makes
It's
me
just
happy
nice to hear your voice again. Like, even the base. Sometimes it's just the basics. Not you, just your voice. No. No, I'm just kidding. It's wonderful talking to you, Save. I hope you keep killing it with what you're doing, and I hope to see you again in person soon.
Yeah, definitely will.
Well,
now we were talking about great ways to end the show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you remember how you used to do it before?
I know how I used to end my videos. I do not remember the podcast.
Well, Edwin, what do you have in mind? Do you have something special in mind?
Ambi, you'll want to pay attention to this, okay?
I'm going to go
I
to
already hate this.
the
So,
waiting for game logo
I've been
at the end of
picking
our
up
show.
playing the recorder a little bit, okay?
Oh no.
So over the last few
Okay. Can you
Alright.
not do this?
over the last few
Have
few
a
days,
great
I've been
day, everyone.
practicing
Thank you
the
for
Super
listening
Smash
to our
Brothers Melee
podcast.
theme
I'm gonna
on the
mute.
recorder.
Peace.
So
See you
if
guys.
you're ready.